Bravo, big smile on his face always.
Right on target. There's Mitch Satner, and that's a maiden from him. 6 dot balls. It's 90 for 7.
10th over for Mitchell Satner. We reached the
Devin Conway with the gloves on, Harris Rauf. And a wry smile this time from Mosen. He's a lovely bowler to watch, isn't he? This time it's the leg break, just skid it on. But he's done Rauf completely in the flight with that little bit of dip that you get as a leg spinner. And certainly no surprise to see him go with the googly for the hat-trick ball. Here's his 2 wickets. The first one, well, he'll claim he's deceived Corey Anderson. And the second one was nicely bowled. Might have been the googly, and again, just the inside edge forced it in onto the stumps.
Lovely dog, lovely boy.
One of my favourite things to watch in cricket, being a former leg spinner, and that is wrist spin to tail enders, because it's always entertaining. Usually the tail enders will have a go. Usually the wrist spinner will fancy his chances, show all his variations.
Yeah, and he's got a few variations. Did well last year for the Texas Super Kings. Was actually picked up as a wild card. Had to wait a long time before he was eventually picked up in the draft. Just out of reach. Satner. To wait for his chance last year, but he took it, and here he is in his second season. It's 97 for 7.
3 more singles, unicorns closing in on double figures, 97 for 7. Now fans, don't forget to play along with our cricket quiz thanks to Stake. We've asked the following question: what is the official brand of the cricket ball used in cognizant Major League Cricket? Is it A, SG, B, Kookaburra, or C, Dukes? Scan the QR code on the big screen to submit your vote, and we will reveal the
Texas Super Kings in control at this stage, already 7 wickets in their favour, 97 for 7. Aaron Hardy will continue. Good first over from him. Outside edge, this could fly away. Work to be done on the boundary. That'll have to be checked. They'll come back for 2.
When the opportunity presents itself, as a law at a batter, when your team is 99 for 7, you got to try and get as many boundaries as possible. Looks like good work so far from Naveen ul Haq, showing that level of commitment. He did spill an opportunity earlier in the innings. This is maybe one way of making up for that, Scott Starris.
Yeah, brilliantly fielded, Naveen ul Haq. They've come good, haven't they, in the field after those 2 drop catches. Swung away through the leg side. That will be a boundary.
Nice little partnership brewing here, 22 from 27. Some rear guard action after flurry of wickets. Harris Rauf has batting pedigree and showing it.
Yeah, they'll still believe 160 is on at least. There's 7.5 overs to go. Even at the current run rate, 167 will give them a score they'll believe they can bowl to. That'll be a wide, or it should be. It was a late call. So that will be every wide is an extra run to the total. And also that delivery has to be re-bowled. There's the stake projected scores. 169, I think somewhere between 169, 181, they will take right now. Having been 81 for 7. It'll be another wide.
And Scotty, just to build on that point, the reason why they still have an opportunity to get to that 160, 170 marker is because of that ultra-aggressive approach in the power play phase. 74 runs achieved in the first 6. Gave the right sort of energy and rhythm to the innings.
Up and over the offside, but it's hanging in the air. Oh no, misjudged badly. That should have been another one, just having praised the fielding. A poor effort in the outfield.
It's not the best of days in the outfield for the Texas Super Kings. The ball hung in the air for a long time. Looked initially like he was very close to the drop zone and then found himself short.
That's Zia-ul-Haq who started things off with 2 quick wickets. Fortunately for him.
हेलो दोस्तों, लाइक करो वीडियो को, लाइक करो.
10 runs from the overs so far, and that's exactly what they need at this stage.
हेलो दोस्तों, खुश रहो, लाइक करो वीडियो को.
It's a big deal.
Cricket, it's also a big day for you, Scott Styris, approaching a landmark. Happy birthday to you, sir.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
I can genuinely say, I thought I'd got away with it.
We'll never let you get away with it, Scott Styris.
I certainly don't need the cake, I can tell you that.
But happy birthday to you on behalf of everyone here in the production team, and I'm sure everyone in the Cognizant MLC, wishing you all the very best today and in the upcoming year.
Thank you very much. And what better day it is watching my beloved Super Kings play. $108 for 7.
Scoring for the Unicorns. They pick up 11 off the 13, courtesy of a boundary stroke, a double, 2 wide, and 3 singles.
Yeah, there was one significant partnership so far in this innings. 37 produced between Matt Short and Krishnamurti. Beyond that, it's this partnership between Rauf and Hassan. Makes it much more difficult for the Unicorns to bat the full complement of 20 to the smiles and the delight of the Texas Super Kings players. Rauf departs for 13, 108 for 8.
In at 10 for the Unicorns, number 24, Brody Couch.
Brody Couch comes out at number 10. Thought he bowled really well in their first match in Dallas a couple of days ago. Got the ball to swing, but has a job to do with the bat. And
आ जाता है अभी थोड़ी देर तक नेटवर्क बस तो इधर ही रहना हमारे लाइव में बने रहना और मुझे सपोर्ट करो देना आपको अच्छी क्वालिटी की लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग है देखने को मिलेगी ठीक है ना
but does well, sprints in, sets the feet and keeps his head still, which is always the goal in the field. Dot ball to finish, but a successful over for the Super Kings, a wicket and a run from it. 109 for 8.
Last overs from its Santner, just conceding 1 run and getting a wicket, so a great comeback after he did concede 14 runs in his first over in that power play phase. Nice balance with seam and spin shown so far from the Texas Super Kings.
Very good performance with the ball so far, the Texas Super Kings. Just Aaron Hardy without the wicket, and Faf du Plessis will keep ringing the changes. I'll go back to Super Coach DJ Bravo, talking about that before, coach of the Chennai Super Kings in the IPL, now playing. But as I said, he's got a very sharp analytical cricket mind, and no surprise to me that he's gone into coaching. It's gone fine. Work at third. Does well to keep it to a single.
The one thing I'll say about Dwayne Bravo is, to his credit, is the way he's managed his fitness as an all-rounder over the years. Of course, he started playing alongside me in a Trinidad and Tobago setup in the West Indies, and then graduated into maroon colours playing for the West Indies. Was a very good all-rounder in test match cricket. And then the advent of T20 cricket came along. We played that first T20 international against you guys, Scott Styris. Dwayne Bravo was a member of that squad. But he's an instinctive type cricketer. So as much as he is well coached and he reads the game well, oftentimes he goes with his instinct as a player, as a cricketer, which has worked to his advantage.
That'll be another single. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, this game has evolved a lot. You know, he was more of a seam up. It was certainly a lot quicker in his younger days. Now bowls a lot of change-ups. And he is sitting there at the top. All three of those gentlemen here in the MLC. It's the quality that this competition has brought together. His batting, he was very leg side dominant. Now he hits the ball a lot over the offside. And that's what you're hoping for the local American players in this competition. These sorts of games up against the best players that the game has. That their experience levels will grow. Their games will gain some consistency and their ability to just improve. And then the flow-on effect of that graduating to the American national side, competing on the world stage.
And just to build on your point, it's a great opportunity for the local players here in America to learn from that wealth of experience that Dwayne Bravo has. Remember, he's just on the back of coaching the Afghanistan national team in that recent ICC Men's T20 World Cup. And Afghanistan, that type of tournament when they got to the semi-final, lost to South Africa.
It's not just the players as well. We just mentioned Dwayne Bravo as one of the assistant coaches of the Chennai Super Kings. Faf du Plessis captains his team in the IPL, captains the Super Kings, spent most of his IPL career in the yellow. Now plays for Bangalore in that competition. But there are a couple of head coaches as well. Stephen Fleming, who does a great job with the Chennai Super Kings, now the head coach here for Texas. Ricky Ponting, also a head coach in the IPL here Oh, it's swung away, and that will be another boundary. In fact, it goes all the way for 6. That closes out the over, spoils what was a very good one. 9 runs coming from it. 118 for 8.
Nice counter punch here from Hassan. He's seen wickets stumble from the opposite end, and he picks this delivery and dispatches it leg side. Nice savage blow, and takes it all the way for 6. Valuable runs here for the Unicorns.
Returning in the cedar forward end, 9, Mohammed Hossein.
Come on, let's go, yeah, boys.
एक रन निकला हुआ सुल्तान
Whistles back again. One stage was on a hat trick, picking up 2 wickets in 2 balls. Couldn't quite complete it.
यूनिकॉर्न्स
Very good
ने
performance.
बनाए ओ
And that's the googly,
बारी
getting the
किनारा
ball out of the
निकलता
back of the
बच गया
hand and turning in the
और
opposite
बॉल
direction.
बैट्समैन के करीब से गुजर गई
They have been really impressive. What I like about this bowling lineup, there's a lot of
दूसरी बॉल आती
variety
हुई
to it.
बैट्समैन
Left
तैयार
armers, right armers, different spinners.
एक रन मिलेगा बैट्समैन को पंच
Allows you as a captain to adapt and adjust to the
मिड ऑफ
conditions, the
लॉन्ग ऑफ
opposition.
की तरफ खेलते हुआ
Gives
शॉट
you a chance of getting wickets. Willow by Crick Buzz, leading wicket takers so far in the cognizant MLC.
लीडिंग विकेट
Spencer
विकेट
Johnson
ये स्पेंसर
of the LA
जॉनसन
Knight
6
Riders
विकेट्स
with 6 wickets,
Yeah.
closely followed by the local hero, Petrovalka.
Oh, nice bowling.
What these spinners do well, both
स्पिनर्स के
Moisen
लिए
and
विकेट बनाया
Mitchell
गया
Santner,
स्पिनर्स
is get through the
को
overs
भी अच्छा
quickly.
टर्न मिल गया यहाँ इस
And
विकेट
all of
पे
a sudden, as batsman, you look up and there's only a couple of overs left.
काफी कम रन बनाए हैं दूसरी टीम
That's pulled away. I don't think it's timed well enough.
Oh,
Simple catch out
wicket
at
मिल
deep mid
गई
wicket.
स्पिन को स्पिन
And is
करी
that the hopes of getting that 170 mark gone
कैच
and 9 down?
इसने पकड़ा
He'll be
मोहसिन
so,
को विकेट
so
मिली अभी
disappointed with this stroke because the shot was on, just didn't
आउट हो
focus a
गया
lot
अभी
on finding the
एक और
gap,
विकेट लेते हुए
which is often a simple error that batters do, especially when they're
अभी
looking
तक
for that
जितना भी
boundary.
विकेट ने बचाव
They
किया
think power
वो बॉलिंग
as
टीम की
against
तरफ लगा
placement.
है ऐसा लगता है ये बॉलिंग
That's a
टीम
long
की विकेट
boundary
बनाई
as
गई
well.
है
So
इस
further
विकेट पे
trouble
रन
now
बहुत
for
कम करे हैं
Unicorns. Hassan Khan
तमाम पर
gone for
बैट्समैन
19. It's
नाकाम रहे हैं
119
इस
for
पिच पर
9.
रन करते हैं
And on that fall of wicket, we'll have a strategic timeout.
एक भी बंदा लाइव नहीं देख रहा इस लाइव को शेयर करो जी से जी जो भी बाद में इसको देखेगा और आइंदा मेरी लाइव आती रहेंगी देखना ज़रूर दोस्तों गाइस
119 for 9, and it's a
I
sorry
will
looking
share you
scorecard
all the
for
live
the
streaming of
Unicorns. When they won their last
WIC
match,
Cricket
they had the
2024
century stand between Allen and Short.
and you
Partnerships is
my
talked about a
live
lot
streaming
in all
on
3
YouTube.
versions of the game, but
This is my
very much
first
important in this.
have a live
They've
on
not been
YouTube
able to get going at any point.
on
57, the
about
biggest.
cricket.
Wickets fell at regular intervals. There's been a lot of big hits to go with it. 7 4s and 6 6s. But that dismissal just has typified a little the softness of some of these dismissals
Yes,
throughout.
199,
The fielding, they put down some
199.
catches.
On 9
It
wickets,
could have been even worse for the
15.55
Unicorns.
overs. So,
Yeah, just not keeping that composure that you expect in a T20 batting lineup. They had a
Run
very,
काफी मिल
very
रहा है
good
spin bowler को.
Lexus power play. They were let off on a couple of occasions with some
Cutters
dropped
both
catches, but it's that
calm
middle
है.
phase where they lost 5 wickets that really put them under pressure. And then that low order needing to produce runs. Wickets with slow balls, with pace-on deliveries, doing bravo. And then Corey Anderson premeditating a bit, missing a full toss. Mohammed Mohsin,
Mohammed
which is
Mohsin.
guile, getting the wicket of Plunkett. Harris Rauf was searching for a maximum. He miscued it. And Hardy made no mistake before the last wicket fell. Not a
The bowlers have done their job. The economy rates, look at that, 3 for 8 for Mohamed Mohsin. Santner's come back well, so the 2 spinners, almost 6 overs, 4 for 23. You know, in too many games as a batting unit up against those sorts of figures, but very good performance thus far. They need to finish it off with this final wicket. Last ball of the over. Now pick up the single. Outstanding though, wicket. And 2 runs from it, 120 for 9. Yeah, the key to this has been the length that he's bowled. A fuller length, 35%, which induces the drive, but the ball turning is a bit of a risky proposition. Just that one short ball, ironically, it picked up the wicket, but he has been incredibly impressive, Mohamed Mohsin, so far.
एक मैसेज देना था जी आपको, लाइक करो, शेयर करो, लाइव को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा देखो.
It's been superb, Mohsin. Bowls are predominantly wrong-uns or googlies. Rarely do you see a standard leggy. We have seen a couple of those from him today, but he's a real artist, that's for sure. And Naveen Haq to start over number 17.
Has not been the day for San Francisco Unicorns. Do know they've got an explosive batting lineup, but sometimes it just doesn't come together, and then it's hard to find the balance of it later on when you haven't had the start you wanted. And Texas Super Kings, well, if their fielding was just that little bit better, they may have this wrapped up already. Good news is, though, the sun is shining brightly. There was a few clouds building up earlier, but it's actually okay now. Looks like it's all moved away, which is good news. Naveen may have been a little bit expensive today, but he's pretty good at the end, looking to wrap it up. It was very slow. I think Maria Rasmus had a little think about this. If it was too wide, he feels it's okay.
And Naveen Haq, I'm sure, will be very keen to wrap this up as soon as he possibly can. He's got 1 at the moment, halfway through his 3rd. Mohsin's been absolutely brilliant from the other end at the moment. He's got 1 over left.
Rauf du Plessis said, we will have a bowl first, and wickets continued to fall, even though there were boundaries. San Francisco Unicorns were able to score some runs, but it was a lovely moment for Zial Haq to celebrate early on with Rauf du Plessis taking the catch.
Yeah, that leading edge surprised a lot of us. I think Finn Allen was the one that was most surprised. Couldn't stay on his feet though, Faaf. He likes to dive around a bit with the catches. He did drop 2 absolute sitters soon after that. I'll be interested to see how they go about here, this Texas Super Kings. Let's look at the most wickets in T20s in 2024. Naveen Haq with 44 of 56. Their net run rate is very poor, Texas Super Kings. Obviously, they need points. And as I said earlier, if they get 2 points for victory here, it'll take them to 2nd on the table. But they've got a chance to try and track down this total quickly if they get a good start. That's the important thing. And then if they get a chance to boost their net run rate, that'll be a big bonus for them. Unicorns traced down 165, I think it was, in 15 overs against the LA Knight Riders. just giving them a great net run rate.
It's a quiet over. That's 123 for 9. Yeah, you talk about net run rates in the last game for Texas Super Kings. Unfortunately, because it wasn't a completed game, it doesn't count to net run rates. Even though they scored a lot of runs, that would have helped them out a little bit. So it wasn't a completed game, interrupted by rain. Well, that hasn't helped them out from that point of view. And we know in these franchise competitions, net run rate can be very, very important.
They got 203, and Freedom were 4 overs, 62 for none. And the heavens opened, unfortunately, for Washington Freedom, and that stopped that game. There's a look at the bowlers at the moment. Mosen, brilliant. 3 overs, 3 for 9. Magnificent work from him. Zero Huck got a couple of bonus wickets, I think, right at the top, particularly the first one of Finn Allen. Ended up with 2 for 41 off 3. He's been on the expensive side.
Well, he's got into an interesting position to play that shot and somehow eventually get it over the keeper's head. Hasn't gone very far, though. Just a couple of runs added to the total. It's not his best figures in MLC, Mohamed Mohsen. The first game he played last year picked up 4 for 8.
Rauf Ahmed himself is a very good leg spinner. Picked up 11 wickets on debut in Test matches for Pakistan against England in Multan. Again, it was the wrong one. As I said, he bowls mainly wrong uns as Mosen. Come back for the second. I'm not sure he can, though. Nope. Bowler does work of his own bowling. Confirmation of the variations. Almost 70% of googlies. Actually, normally does more than that from a googly perspective.
Skills, Mo. Skills there, Mo.
Certainly is a track that is incentivizing the wrist spinners. Ahmed will really enjoy his opportunity to get stuck in when he gets the ball in his hand in the second innings.
Should very well fall short. Yeah, falls quite well short of Zia Luck.
I love the calling. Couch was screaming for 2 as well on that occasion, but they just trotted through for 1.
Go on now, Mo.
Right in front of the stumps. Right in front of the stumps. And that will be wicket number 4. Yet again, another 4-wicket haul in MLC. They do want another little look at this just in case, though.
TV umpire director, we have an LBW review given out on field. It's a fair delivery. Can we go on a front-on spin, please? Okay, ball goes close to the back. We look at ultra edge, please, before it hits the pad. Okay, roll it through the gap there on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. Roll it through, roll it through. It's gone past the bat now. So there's no bat involved. We can go straight through to ball tracking when it's available, please. Just stand by, Vijaya. Just waiting on ball tracking here, Vijaya. Stand by. Coming up now, original decision is out. Pitching us off, impact in line. Wickets is hitting. You can stay with your original decision. I'll let you know when you're on screen. Signal now.
Confirmation that it's another 4-wicket haul for Mohamed Mohsen in MLC cricket. He started it off last year with a 4 for 8, and today finishes with 4 for 13, wrapping up that innings with Rauf Ahmed going for 6. They're all out for 127.
If there was any chance it's going to be given not out, then there would have been a bit of an issue for the Texas Super Kings because they were off the ground, basically, all of them. But Mohamed Mohsen was outstanding, and this is a very good performance from the Texas Super Kings. They'll be extremely pleased with the way they've wrapped up this. Fidel on the top, just 10. He just got a full toss. He hit the Fuff to pursue off the leading edge. Fraser McCurk got bowled off his hip. Short, played some nice shots. 33 off just 15 balls. He was in a bit of a rush. Krishnamurti 17 off just a dozen, stayed there for a while, but he had no support really. Musson 19 off 22, and Horace Rauf 13, might be his top score ever. Ended up with 127 was the total for the San Francisco Unicorns.
One of the standout bowlers would be Mohamed Mohsen, picking up 4 for 30 in his 3.5. He was in on a hat-trick at one stage. Zio-Haq may have been expensive, but he did pick up 2 for 41 in the end in his 3 overs. Excellent effort it was by Texas Super Kings. Let's go down now to Aman Patel, who's sideline.
Here with DJ Bravo. Dwayne, you got the ball in hand, 2 wickets. How did you assess conditions? What went right?
Yeah, it's very good. I think it's very hot. So obviously, this is like about a third game play on the ship. So it's going to be inconsistent where bounce is concerned. So I just stick to my strength, which is my variation, and it worked.
There you go. You got those 2 in your first over. And we also talked about Mohamed Mohsen taking 3 wickets. Talk to me what you like about Mohsen and what he does well.
Yeah, I call him Shadab. Here, look at his action. He's a quality bowler. He did very well for us last season as well. So he's for a local player, he's a trump card for us. But we can't forget the work that Zia did in the power play, again picking up early wickets. So that set the tone for us and give us, the momentum to control the game.
Yeah, what was the message? Obviously, this was a track that saw Steve Smith, Travis Head go big and Faf go big. What was the message? How did you guys condense them down in that score?
No, we just tried to hit our lengths as much as possible. We learned from our mistakes against the previous game. As I said, Smithy and these guys got off the flyer. But it's a new day, new environment, everything is the difference. So it's just a matter of trusting our ability that we have and allow them to make the mistakes, which a few of them make a couple of mistakes, but in this format is expected. So we just hopefully is a total we can chase and get these points.
Good luck on the second innings, DJ.
Thank you.
Yeah, points on the board, that's what they are looking for. The target is 128. They'll be thinking about the points, but they may also be thinking about that net run rate as well. We will wait to see the chase. Texas Super Kings have managed to wrap up this innings, and it means they have a target of 128 to get some valuable points on the board. Now, a man who knows all about getting points on the board is Albie Morkel, and he's down on the field with Arman Patel.
Coach, out here, 127 is what you held the Unicorns to. How do you feel about that? What did your bowlers do well?
Yeah, I thought they pulled it back very nicely. I think they were 70 out for 2 after 6, which was a very good power play for them. And we were probably steering a big total there. But the guys did well. I think Bravo got us back in the game, and then Mo with those 2 double strikes. Yeah, so you have to feel comfortable about chasing 127.
Yeah, you mentioned Mohamed Mohsen and Zia Huck opened the bowling.
Yes.
Talking about the domestics that you've seen and how they've done well in this tournament.
Yeah, Zia's been able to get us wickets with a new ball, which is very important in T20 cricket. Now, 2 games we've had, Mo hasn't had a proper chance to bowl. Today was his best chance, and he did really well. I think took 4 for 13. And I saw him last year. You know, he's a very good bowler. He's got variations. He's got good control. So on a platform like this, where there's a couple of wickets down and he comes on, you know, he can really put a team under pressure.
Yeah, you guys have a little bit of a stretch here of games and more so your second game in just a couple of days. How are you guys maintaining yourselves in this heat?
It's pretty tough. I think, you know, you have to sort of stay away from training. So after games, the boys will be at the hotel sort of relaxing and recovering. You know, as you can feel, it's really hot and humid here, so it takes a lot out of you. I've got a bit of a superstition with scores between 125 and 130, so hopefully that's not the truth today.
What is that superstition? You want to tell us?
I just don't like those scores. It always seems that those games are the tightest. So, yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get a good opening partnership and win easily.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck for the rest of the game.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it feels they have brought it back nicely, and that was important from their point of view because of that excellent start, of course, that the San Francisco Unicorns had. But the question is, these smaller totals, is it going to bring a little bit of a surprise? Now, Hazy, San Francisco Unicorns, the boundaries were flowing in the beginning, but wickets continued to fall.
Yeah, that was the first one. That was just bunted off a leading edge. Fuff took that catch. First wicket down, Finella was gone. Then there's a bit of partnership. Short was dropped. Should have been picked up by Kumar, but not to be. Fraser McGurk got one to squeeze down the 3rd man, and then he got very upset when he was just bowled off his hip, really. And Short continued to the other end. And this is the opportunity to really kick on because he was batting nicely. And I thought that his tempo was outstanding. Could have been stopped then, but it was Huck that put down that catch. And this is when they were just starting to pick things up. But unfortunately for them, that's when Short got out. Straight to Savage. And then wicket started to tumble soon after that. Naveen Huck got a chance to make amends. Then it was Bravo in the attack, and we know when he gets into the attack, things happen. Then we got Mohsen, who picked up his first one. That was a big one, Corey Anderson, actually, because he's someone who can score quick runs. A wrong un, didn't expect that, should have, but didn't. And just a little bit of a flutter at this stage because they needed to get going. They needed to kick something in the gear, but that went far too high. And this is where they just started to perhaps not think a great deal about things, actually. They just played a couple of shots that are fielders on the fence. Comfortable catch by Hardy this time. Lucky he was nice and tall, I suppose. Mohsen again getting another wicket. Ended up with 4 for 13, so outstanding work from Mohsen with his brilliant wrist bend.
Outstanding indeed. He was definitely one of the standouts with the ball, taking 4 for 13. Now, somebody has been an outstanding participant for the Super Kings franchise for a little while now. It's been Devon Conway. He had a birthday just a couple of days ago. Let's hear from him.
These 2 quality players, the longer they stay out in the middle, the more they'll master the conditions.
You know, it's always a great opportunity to open the batting with Faf du Plessis.
This is fabulous batting from du Plessis.
One thing that we want to improve on this year is just being clinical more with the bat.
Devon Conway, he is so dangerous when he gets a start and he continues in the middle.
Put opposition bowling attacks under pressure, and hopefully we get all the way to the finals this year.
That's big, very big. Something for the fans to celebrate in Texas.
So my favorite favourite batting shot will probably be the cover drive, obviously very pleasing on the eye, and my least favourite batting shot would be the inside edge for 4 past fine leg. I think for me there was one memory where SFUVSTSK took an important catch for us. You know, he was diving, running in and diving to his left. I think it was to get the wicket of Tim David. You know, important batter to get out, and I think, you know, just that Superman dive was really a memory that stuck with me in that last season.
A 46th half century in T20s for Devon Conway.
What a name he's made for himself, Devon Conway, right around the world and internationally as well. Let's have to see if he has a part to play in this chase of 128, but we're going to take a break first.
Beautifully sunny day here in North Carolina. All of the history and heritage. And what about this man, an iconic World Cup winner, Liam Plunkett? Let's hear a little bit more from him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're playing with two of the best bowlers in the world, Pat and Harris. These guys have been doing it at the highest level, just come off the back of the World Cup, so they're in prime form. We know how good Pat Cummins is. I think he'll back-to-back hat-tricks in the World Cup, so he's coming in fresh, hopefully fresh, but also at the top of his game.
Yeah, great to hear from the World Cup winner, or as I'm sure Scott Dyrus will tell me in a few moments, the World Cup tying England team. Owen Morgan going on to lift that trophy famously in that super over match at Lord's. Devon Conway to get things going alongside the Centurion from the other day, SFUVSTSK, who I thought was so good. I do have Scott Stars next to me. Scott, you happy with that description I gave you?
Not much I can say, really, is there? Yeah, Liam Plunkett, of course, lives in the US now. And he must be careful when he goes to Dallas. He lives in Philadelphia. Big Eagles fan. He's taken the game up.
Harris Rauf gets us underway with a rapid bouncer. It's pulled nicely. Yeah, Liam Plunkett was quite brilliant in 2019, wasn't he? Ben Stokes, the player of the match in that final. An amazing run. Really spurred what's been a lot of success of late for England in white ball cricket. And this man no longer playing internationally for South Africa, but he's at his very best, his 6th T20 century just a few days ago here.
Yeah, so difficult to bowl to. He likes to move around the crease, come to at the bowler. Well, Rauf at his peak can bowl over 90 mile an hour and up to 94 or 5 when his rhythm really clicks.
And the perfect example there, that is without doubt a remotely speedy delivery. Rapid, 89 miles an hour it's clocked.
Yeah, especially on a pitch which has a lot of bounce to it. Does hit the top of the bat, no foot movement at all from SFUVSTSK. Love those shoes.
A little bit of movement as well, isn't there? Just away from the right-hander here. 90 miles an hour this time, the remotely speedy delivery. What about those shoes? You like those wheels?
Oh, I do. Yeah. Speedy delivery, speedy between the wickets. Rauf, when he plays for Pakistan, often will bowl with an older ball. Does a great job. Here he's given the opportunity with the brand new one.
And get du Plessis off the mark.
And I don't mind it, actually. It does like to use that pace. Doesn't get a huge amount of movement. A little bit of outswing. And Pakistan have plenty of good fast bowling options, as they always do. They seem to produce them at will. And here we go, 90 mile an hour, top speed already.
It's about as quick as we've seen actually all tournament. We haven't seen, particularly with the heat, haven't seen many ramp it up to 92, 94, 95. This is a good matchup, this one though, for the Unicorns, because he's already dismissed Devon Conway 5 times in T20 cricket from just 44 balls. And it goes without saying really, but for the San Francisco Unicorns to defend this low total, they're going to need early wickets.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the fact he stayed over the wicket, and by that I mean as we look at it, he's running in on the left-hand side of the umpire. Bowlers do have the option of running in on the right-hand side of the umpire as well. A lot of teams in the IPL target Devon Conway with that change of angle coming around the wicket. Naturally, he will go across the bowler on the angle towards the wicketkeeper. It's a completely different angle coming around. And Devon Conway has often been found wanting with that change of angle. So I wonder how long it'll take before he makes that change.
Stylishly driven, and the extra pace of Rauf will allow it to squeeze away for a boundary. Nicely played, a conventional stroke from Devon Conway.
Yeah, that's what pace does allow. You don't have to try and hit the ball too hard. Make sure the timing is right. No big follow through. Hits the ball late, in fact takes one hand off the bat. But it's all about the placement. Third man can't get round.
And that there is Kareem Agor, a player that American fans will know well. He's not in the starting 11, he's on as a sub fielder. He is a world-class fielder. Keep your eyes on him. He'll be desperate to impact the game if he can. Gets us to the end of the first over, 7 for none. Gore is on for Sanjay Krishnamurthy. He's just getting a little bit of treatment to his hand there. Might have just jarred his fingers in the turf. That could be nasty, Scott.
Oh yeah, look, dislocation. Have to probably tape a couple of them up together. Cricket ball, of course, a lot harder and heavier than what a baseball is with the bare hands.
I think you might be right, Scott. I think he might have dislocated a finger there. Is that something you ever did during your playing career? Very painful.
Not that often. The worst was a dislocation and a break at the same time. So they have to, of course, put it back in as quickly as they can, and it's broken. So that was a little painful. But no, I mean, some players, once they start dislocating fingers, it happens regularly.
Which finger was that for you?
It was a thumb.
Oh, thumb, oh dear. Okay, Couch to get things going with the new ball. Starts with a leg side wide. Good take from the keeper. Yeah, they'd be concerned for Krishnamurthy. It's incredibly tough, this sport of ours, cricket, isn't it? You think back 30, 40 years ago, you might have thought it was an old sport for gentlemen, a very soft sport. It's quite the opposite at the top level.
That's what T20 has brought about. Every run's crucial, every run counts. Only 120 deliveries per innings. So you've, of course, got to make as many runs as you can. So the athleticism, dynamic play, both bat, ball and field, has gone through the roof. I think batsmanship has certainly raised and changed in terms of its aggressiveness and risk-taking, even in the last 5 or 6 years.
I know you love your American sports, your more mainstream American sports, your American football, your baseball. You hear a lot of players playing through a bit of pain, playing a bit hurt. It's no different in cricket, is it? You see certainly fast bowlers in particular. Nicely driven through the covers. And Corey Anderson has got work to do here. He's not going to be able to cut it off. Second boundary for Conway and the Super Kings in the chase.
Big difference in the styles of the opening batsman for the Unicorns versus someone like Devon Conway, more traditional, more classical. This is a nice cover drive. Again, not looking to hit the ball too hard. All about placement, keeps it away from the fielders. And will run away.
That final replay there where he opened the blade late to find the gap. Is that what the art of batting is all about? Hitting the ball where the fielders aren't? Is it that simple?
Well, it is for a player like Devon Conway. He doesn't try to be a batsman. He's not, which is a power player. He will play aggressive shots, no question about it. It's his job at the top of the order. But he will look to bat in a more conventional way, hit good balls into gaps without taking those big risks that we saw from Finn Allen, Fraser McGurk, Matthew Short, for example. And one of his skills is also very strong on the short ball, the bouncer, directed at the body. But again, he doesn't look to hit it too hard, just uses the pace. It just shows in this sport, there are many ways to do it.
And when you say that, playing in a more conventional fashion, what does that mean? He's going to pick out strokes that are more from a coaching manual of a different era.
Yeah, exactly. 39 in the last game for Devon Conway. And I mean, he doesn't look to overhit the ball. Just, again, use the pace, put the ball into gaps. He'll look to hit the ball in the air when he wants to deliberately hit a six. But, yeah, it's traditionally been a very technical sport. You must get your feet here, high elbow, front elbow. Let the ball come to you, hit the ball under your eyes, hit the ball late. Baseball, for example, you're looking to go out and meet the ball with power.
Really good effort from Haris Rauf down at deep third. I think we'll have a check, but he may have done incredibly well here to save 2 runs. Another admittedly speedy delivery, this time from Couch, his first over. 85 miles an hour. Has he been helped out by the more senior fast bowler here? Good athleticism on show.
You got one from the other side or another angle there, please?
Yeah, the ball.
Okay,
ball,
of
course,
roll it back again from the start, please?
Not allowed to hit the rope, but if the fielder is touching the rope at the same time as he touches the ball, then that is considered a boundary. That's what the umpire is checking here. And I think he's done really well, Haris Rauf, saved a couple.
Yeah, great commitment. That's why he's so loved by the Pakistan fans. A very wholehearted cricketer and a good athlete too. And a conventional cricket stroke of the highest quality. Lovely off drive, flowing off drive from Conway. He'll get back for a couple, half a stop from Anderson. 18 for none. Someone like Corey Anderson, his role in American cricket, it was great to see him in and making an international debut for a second country. Must have been a bit surreal for you, seeing a former colleague of yours.
You played a lot of cricket with Corey Anderson as well. Now lives, of course, in the US. We've seen it a bit. Devon Conway grew up in South Africa. but then decided to make the move. Lives in New Zealand now, plays for New Zealand. This is a perfect start, though, for the Super Kings, chasing what we think is a low total. Just 127 was the final score for the Unicorns. And you just want to avoid losing early wickets, putting yourself under pressure. No Marcus Stoinis today as well. So there's one of the big name batsmen out of the lineup for the Super Kings. So these two have not looked in any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah, really enjoying this head-to-head battle. That's what cricket is. Bowler v batter. Rauf v du Plessis. And oh dear, that is going to hurt. It's probably hit, what, the inner thigh pad? Did play brilliantly 2 days ago, though. How great a knock was this one?
That was a brilliant innings. 100 off 58 deliveries for Francois du Plessis. Uses his feet, gives himself room, sweats on anything short of a length. That's exactly what you want from your captain as well. Just leads from the front. Shows everyone else what they're doing. No timing. And quite rightly sits at the top of the Royal leading run scorers list.
Been really rushed for pace here. That was his 6th career T20 100. There's not an awful lot of people above him on the list. You see there the Royal leading run scorers. He's top of the pile, but those with more T20 centuries than him, Scott, there's not many. Chris Gale, Babar Azam, Virat Kohli, David Warner, Jos Buttler, Rohit Sharma, Glenn Maxwell. They're the kind of names that du Plessis is mixing it with. Where does he stand in the echelon of those kinds of names, those kinds of players? Looks like he's got plenty of cricket left in his legs too.
Oh, I think he was behind. He is behind a lot of those. Sorry, was behind, it's fair to say, a lot of those names. But the last 3-4 seasons around the world, he has just raised the level of his game, which is incredible, really, when you think about the fact he's now either 40 years of age or approaching 40 years of age. So the latter part of his career, he's really found the best method to score. And he's as good as anyone in the world in those 3 or 4 seasons. That's why, at that age, he's still highly thought after and demanded in teams around the world. And I think you see how he's rewarded, captain now of a couple of different teams. His side in India in the IPL, Bangalore, he captains that team.
A solid start in the Lexus power play here for the Texas Super Kings. They've been really good. 21 for none in the 3rd over. The required run rate is not a concern right now. It's in and around a run a ball. And this is going to be more runs for Conway. Again, Rauf rushes him for pace, but he adapts to it beautifully, and he gets 4 more.
Such a good shot, isn't it? Talk about just the batsmanship. Again, does not look to hit this into the crowd for 6. Rolls the wrists on it. It was onto him quickly, can't extend the arms, but he just helps it on its way. And the placement was perfect once again. There's a deep backward square out there. There he is, running around and can't get there. Frustration for Haris Rauf.
Very, very special. You will not see a better off drive than that one. The shot of the day from Devon Conway. It's 29 for none.
He's on 24 off just 11 deliveries, and it does not feel like he's played a shot in anger. Check drive, balance. You can always tell the balance of a batsman where they don't move after they've played the stroke. And mid-off is quite wide. That is brilliantly played. Corey Anderson, no chance.
Faf du Plessis, the hero from a couple of days ago, is just being a bystander. He hasn't needed to do anything. Devin Conway has got the Texas Super Kings chase off to a most sparkling of starts. 24 off 11 with close to zero risk. The final delivery of the previous over with the most perfect off drive. This has come right out of the middle of the bat. What does that mean, Scott?
Means it goes for 4. In simple terms. Yeah, not a big stride, is it? But it's just making sure your body weight transfers through the ball. And it just shows short, pulled away for 4, 2 full down the ground.
Nicely played into the leg side. Going to be 4 more. The runs are coming. And there's no answer right now for the Unicorns. So dominant in their first game. They are being put to the sword here.
And the captain, Corey Anderson, just going for a chat with Brodie Couch. No real foot movement again from Faf du Plessis, but they have put the ball into the gaps. They're not looking to hit sixes. It's been just a high quality opening partnership. And you're right, Faf du Plessis was the aggressor in their last match. Conway played second fiddle. Tonight it's been about Conway generating the strike rate, getting the innings moving, and Faf du Plessis taking the back seat.
Nearly finds that same gap again, but this time Plunkett does enough. When the ball comes out of the middle of the bat like that, it almost looks effortless. And Devin Conway, when he's at his best, he does make batting look very, very easy on the eye.
It's no different to most sports, is it? The classiest of players appear to have so much time and everything looks easy. And Conway has been one of the world's best in all 3 formats over the last, say, 4 years, 5 years. And that is because he never looks in trouble. I'm a little surprised that Corey Anderson hasn't made a change to the bowling lineup, considering he needs wickets early. These two have looked a little ineffective.
Nice tight line this time from Couch. For the Unicorns here, being captained by Corey Anderson, someone you know really well, he's still just 33. How much more does he have to now offer American cricket?
Well, hopefully a lot is the answer, because you're right. I mean, we talk about Faf du Plessis being 40. He's just 33. But there's got to be a want and a desire there. And that's, like any cricketer, you've got to have the drive.
Coming towards us, look out, up in the marquee. It's gone over the marquee. Monstrous hit from du Plessis. How big is that going to be on the tracker? 6 more.
The wind has changed direction. That would have been into the breeze in the first few matches. Today it's downwind. Gets it at the top of the bounce and bang. NTT data 328 feet.
Well, I think that might be the biggest 6 we've seen here at Morrisville. I know Andre Russell hit one down in Texas that might have ended up on Interstate 95 or whatever it is there near Grand Prairie. But that was a monster from du Plessis. Overpitched, yes, by Couch. But the search goes on. No one can find the ball. Loving the size and the quality of the ball striking. And it flies into the top 5. Maybe just one from Travis Head of the Washington Freedom at this ground that was bigger. The rest have come up at Grand Prairie.
It's a big hit, so all of them. 351 from Andre Russell was massive. You're quite right, they can't find the ball over the marquee that we're actually sitting in. And so the 4th umpire is on his way out. And they always have a spare box of cricket balls waiting. Sometimes if there's a bit of rain and ball can get too wet, they'll change it. And in this case, you don't always see here the ball lost amongst the cars parked out the back, but in this case, they do have a replacement ready to go.
I thought our marquee roof was going to be tested for a moment, but it soared high over that. Really good comeback, much better length than Faf du Plessis. Says well bowled, another remitly speedy delivery. TSK here are showing there's plenty of runs in this pitch, and they simply, the Unicorns didn't get enough in that first innings.
Well, most sides batting second have found the going a little easier. And, you know, I'm not quite sure why that is. It's a day game, so sometimes you can see that under lights, maybe a little dew coming in, or just under lights, it can just freshen up the pitch a little. Not here.
We've seen that from every single captain who agrees with you. 7 matches in, 7 tosses won, 7 captains choosing to bowl first.
Sometimes that can also be because teams like to know what they're chasing. You set a score on the board and they can then pace how hard they need to go to get there. We saw the last game out here. Faf du Plessis sitting number 2 on the South African list. David Miller is here in the comp as well, playing for LA Knight Riders.
Yeah, 24 off the over last night. The final over, although it didn't prove to be enough for the Knight Riders. And here in Morrisville, it's all about the Texas Super Kings. They're in cruise control, 43 for none.
It's a story at the moment, going at 10.75. Required from here, 5.3 run from the run rate perspective. So after 4 overs, it's all locked away. Unicorns at this stage were 44 for 2. Super Kings 43 on the board, but they haven't lost a wicket. So there's an advantage for the Super Kings. They need to go at just under 5.5 from here because of this start. These two guys put on 109 in the last game. That's when the first wicket fell. Liam Plunkett is a very experienced bowler and a very fine bowler. Has played a lot of T20 cricket. This will be a nice little head-to-head. But Faf says, I'm just going to change this a bit and hit that for 6. First ball, just to get the upper hand. And Liam says, oh, hang on a sec, Faf.
Dear, oh dear. How good is Faf du Plessis, despite him playing his last T20 international for South Africa back in 2020, 2021, I presume. And he continues to attack bowlers, to innovate, to be so prolific with the bat in this format of the game.
Let's pick that up as well. That's travelled. Oh, it's just gone over. Now, he will feel he should have caught that. He positioned himself quite nicely. And he's a very good athlete as well, Fraser McGurk.
Well, it's below the standard of the modern T20 game. Oftentimes, fielders are well prepared for this type of opportunity, which requires you to jump, time the catch, complete it, throw it back, maybe go out the boundary line and get back in.
So it certainly is an interesting start to this over. Little paddle over the top for 6 first ball. Next ball goes for 6 as well, but with an assist from number 33. There's a look at him settling underneath and settling quite nicely too. Aussie rules football style. Been a fine catch, but he'll be upset he didn't take that. The youngster. Change in the field now. There's a fine leg. Stand a fine leg in position, and the man who was backward a square on the offside is inside the circle. So he goes straight. And right out of the screws, that one. What a beauty from Faf du Plessis. Magnificent stuff from the skipper.
That's a gorgeous looking stroke from the Texas Super Kings captain. Once more hitting on the up, showing evidence of how good this surface is. NTT data confirming it's 285 feet in length, that strike.
Unusual that Faf du Plessis just held his pose at the end for the snappers, just to grab a few shots of him. Not. He's in fine form, that's for sure. 18 off 4 balls. Short that time, and he's picked him up. Hit it fairly flat, very good catch in the end. Matthew Short is a man who was at a mid-wicket position on the edge of the circle. End of Fuff, who was playing beautifully.
Yeah, you can see his reaction after being dismissed. He was trying to keep that down. Wasn't attempting to hit this in the air. Attempted to roll his wrists, but not as firm enough to hit the ball down into the ground. Straight to the fielder. And he will be disappointed because he got a start, 34 from 17. But that partnership is broken now. It's 61 for 1.
In at 3 for Texas Super Kings, number 21, Aaron Hardy.
Very good cricketer, this man. Big, tall Aaron Hardy from place of the Perth Scorchers, BBL. Let's look at his numbers. 67 games, striker over 131. They're without Marcus Stoinis today, so that's a little bit of a blow. In fact, it's a big blow in that middle order. You've got a wrap on the finger. That's why he's not playing today. So Hardy missed out in the last game. Opportunity for him to show his wares today. Conway's playing beautifully on 25. In a spectator the last 5 minutes. Hardy's away. Just takes him about 3 paces to get down the other end. 5 overs gone, 62 for 1.
A costly over for Plunkett, but he does remove Faf du Plessis at 19 for the over, 62 for 1 through 5.
Yeah, just didn't roll his wrists completely down, Faf du Plessis. But it was a very good catch by Matthew Short. Had to go down, time that, get his hands under the ball.
See, they're flying at the starts inside the Lexus power play, both these teams. 72 runs were scored by the Unicorns. They got to 127 in the end, so a lot of runs scored in the first 6. Super Kings 62 in 5. Still got 1 more to go before the Lexus power play is done. Another look at the catch. Faf du Plessis said to his partner, actually after this, he should have gone over the top rather than try and keep it down. He's right. It's a good grab. Abra Ahmed into the attack. Very talented bowler, this guy. Leg spinner, has a very good wrong-un. Picked up 11 wickets on debut in the test match against England at Multan for Pakistan. Economy rate is good in the games he's played, 7.5. There's a slip as well.
Not surprisingly, just 1 over of spin being used in that Lexus power play phase, similar to what we saw in the first innings.
We have seen the ball turn so far in this game today. So I think he'll be playing a pretty big role.
I guess when the ball gets a little bit older, it gets more purchase and grip from the surface. So spinner's happy to bowl later.
His control, I think, is terrific. And as I said, he does have a very, very good wrong-on, which is hasn't showed us yet. Only been 3 balls into his spell. Won't be long before he shows it, though. Hardy wouldn't have seen much of it. There it was. Backed away beautifully. Hammered that through the covers. And that's going to go for 4. That's a fine shot from Hardy.
He's a tall man, long levers, Hardy, so when that backlift goes very high and comes down on the ball, there's a lot of power and velocity in that swing. Gets this one off the sweet spot, so just putting some pressure now on Abra.
Fine length. Nice reply from Abra.
And here's, I guess, the option to use seamers as well early in the innings, showing the historical data of seamers taking wickets.
Yeah, that's right. They certainly a bit of up and down bounce. We saw that at the start again today. We saw it in the previous game here as well. Settles down a bit in the second innings. 6 gone, 67 for 1. Good first over. We upset that Rongan was a little bit too short, and Heidi spotted it quite easily. It's got an interesting flick out of the fingers actually with the Rongan. But only 5 off the first over, which is pretty tidy from Abra. So that's the end of the Lexus power play. 67 for 1. They were 67 for none in their previous game, and they put on that stand of 109. The opening stand, that is. Wide rate from here, 4.36. Conway's playing nicely. Hardy will be aggressive and positive. They would love to steamroll through this and then be in a situation where they can finish it. Even a couple of overs early will help their net run rate, which is not good at the moment. Won't be thinking at all about that at the moment. Plunkett again. Back to the square. Chases on. Gets the dive out. That's good fielding.
Umpires may want to relook this fielding effort from Hassan Khan. Did he pick the ball up while he was outside of the boundary and outside of the field?
Yeah, let's have a look at that. He certainly got a good hand behind it. And then he went just outside. Oh, that back foot was touching. Maybe that'll be looked at again, actually. That back foot, yeah, that's 4. Back foot just touching the advertising triangle. I think that's going to be 4. It's not going to make Liam Plunkett very happy, that's for sure, after getting some pasting in that last over. He did pick up a wicket in the end. Now that's going to be 4. And they have given 4. Vijay Malala is the man who's the business end, the umpire. Signalling that 4. Short delivery, slower short delivery it was, and he's picked it up pretty well. And it's bounced, I think, just in front. I think. Eagle Eyes, what do you reckon?
I reckon that plugged. So just a couple runs, I reckon. We have had a lot of rain here in the past couple days, so we'll have a second look at this. Went high in that mid-wicket region. Came down with a rapid pace. No, bounces into the boundary line, so that's possibly going to be 4.
To be fair, I was asking you whether I thought it was whether you thought it was 4 or 6. Did that hit the cushion on the full a little bit as well? I think it hit just before, but yeah, I think it's 4 and then the cushion. Had hit the cushion on the full with the advertising triangle, that would have been a 6. I think it's a shadow actually we can see on the cushion. First angle should be able to tell us a little bit better, I think. The umpires need to just have a look at that to make sure they're 100% correct. Four it is. Well, Hardy's wasting no time.
Corey Anderson has to find a way to create wicket-taking opportunities with his bowlers. The Lexus power play produced a fine start once more for the Texas Super Kings, courtesy Conway and Duplessis. 2 fine players, 2 stroke makers, well adept at playing fast bowling and spin as well. And they have a nice chemistry going before Faf was the first and only wicket to fall.
Interesting, yeah, it was Conway who was the aggressor right at the top, and then it was Fafo who finished off the last couple of overs. It's a wayward short delivery. It's going to be called a wide. Scotty Styris just mentioned the cricket ball and baseball comparison briefly. I don't know, there's been some discussions about that on social media. Just briefly, the baseball is slightly smaller and lighter than cricket ball, and the cricket ball is harder and heavier. Composition is pretty much similar inside, with the rubber and ball and thicker leather, of course, with a cricket ball, and also lacquer to shine it. Baseball in your hand just gives a little bit, so it's not quite hard, and there's also no shine on a baseball. The baseball has a seam, cricket ball has a seam on it, so that's acts as a rudder as it goes down the ground. Baseball doesn't have that. The pitchers use the baseball when the spinning rotations quickly to get their swing through the air. There's Milan Kumar coming next. His strike rate's 109, then Satner 132, and Savage 127 on average. In Major League Baseball, baseball is used for only 6 pitches, and if it hits the dirt, it gets chucked away. Not a cricket ball, it goes on forever.
Well, hazy viewers, I was making mention of fast bowlers and how successful they've been in Morrisville. And that's a beehive of the deliveries which were missing the wickets, and also wicket-taking deliveries, seamers wickets. So you don't really have to finish on the stumps at this venue, and that's because of the extra bounce we were speaking about. So that's short of a good length, is a wicket-taking length at this venue.
That's nice and fine. That's going to go for 4. That's well tickled around the corner. Good way to finish the over. 16 from that one as well. 83 for 1. American viewers are obviously picking up some of the cricket terms, and I think you might have just done them beautifully now by just talking about a beehive. Darren?
Indeed, that's one of the terms we use when we're describing where the ball finishes on the batter. This one a little too leg side. Low wrist stroke for Conway.
Let's look at that bottom line. 45 only. That's all they need now. 78 balls. What do we? 7 overs in, and they are flying at the moment. They're going at 11.86 to the over. Need to go at under 3.5 from here. So they have got, I'm sure, net run rate progress in their minds. So Liam Plunkett is off the park. His 2 overs have cost 35 runs. He has picked up 1 wicket. Let's look at the points table. And the Super Kings right at the bottom. 2 points will take them to 2nd position, but their net run rate will improve, and it might be even higher if they really step on the gas with the runs now.
And just a little bit of background to Abrar Ahmed. He's born in Karachi, of course, an overseas player from Pakistan. Had a great impact in his first test match when he played against England. Picked up 7 for 114 and then 4 for 120 on debut. That was back in 2022, so he's highly skilled, Hazy. Corey Anderson will expect that he can prize a few wickets through this middle phase of the innings.
He's just 25, I think I'm right in saying that as well, so he's certainly a youngster. Big future ahead of him, that's for sure. It's lovely to watch his skill. Have a look at this. Just rolls it out of the hand. That's the standard leggy. The wrong one gets flicked out of the front of the hand pretty much with a couple of fingers. That's a wrong one. Grips and turns. Was on the barren tracks, some of the dry tracks in Pakistan. He gets a lot of turn there as well, out of the foot marks. Good accuracy.
And slightly different to Rashid Khan. Doesn't finish all his deliveries on the stumps. He's a little bit slower, more conventional with his action.
It's fascinating to watch. He really is. Trying to deceive the batsman. Cries of catch it. It's going to be on the bounce though. Man posted in exactly the right spot.
His speed's averaging 55 miles per hour, so relatively slow. As a batter facing him, you have a long time to assess.
Wide called. Anything that slides down the leg side is generally called a wide by the umpires. And they're always pretty tight there as well. Hardy picks up just the single to finish that over. So 6 off that over, 8 gone. They're flying, 89 for 1.
That brings a little bit of calm to the proceedings. Just 6 runs off the 8th over. Super Kings now 89 for 1.
Just the 4 bowlers used thus far. And for the Unicorns, and only one with success, the veteran Liam Plunkett, but he's gone the distance as well, gone for 35 off his 2 overs thus far. Abrar, the only one really with any hint of control. This game is only going in one direction, unless we see something remarkable from this man. Pakistan's Haris Rauf is certainly capable of picking up a batch of wickets in a very short period. And he's going to need them now, because it's just 39 off 72 from here. Not for the first time, poor old Haris Rauf has to pull out after starting his run-up. Natalie Germanos joins me. Natalie, surprised about the position of this game thus far?
Say I'm surprised. I think from the Texas Super Kings point of view, they would have known how important this fixture is to start off with, because they had the 1-0 result, a loss as well, so they would have known it would be important to get the 2 points on the board. And now that they're looking in a good place, they can also then obviously push their net run rate. From the San Francisco Unicorns point of view, you look at the side and their approach to T20 cricket, and you just know that when it comes off, they could probably chase down just about any score, and they could also set as big a score as needed. But when it doesn't come off, it can go really ugly like it did today. And it's that T20 balance, isn't it? That aggressive batting. The game has changed so much over the years. We so often talk about, we used to talk about boundary, you follow it up with a single, that's sensible cricket. That's been thrown out the window just about now. You follow up a boundary with another boundary. The game has changed. Well, I'm afraid, as we're talking about this, there's not the best of news in terms of the weather. Bit of rain about.
No, that is going to be painful. It's probably flooded into the stomach, the belly of Aaron Hardy, and he'll have to give that a rub. You don't want to show any pain, but yeah, sadly you're right. There are just a few drops of rain. That is going to be very painful indeed.
And Rauf has got pace about him. He's known for his pace, of course. He's very quick, comes onto you quickly as well.
And Hardy does well to get up the other end. You do feel a bit for the curation and the organising team here in Morrisville. We've seen 2 games abridged by the rain, and even though there's bright sunshine, there are a few drops. It was forecast to come in around 6 o'clock. It's about 20 minutes to 6 local time. But it was that surreal scene the other day where we felt as though that TSK game versus the Washington Freedom was certain to have a result, and could have been a thrilling result. And that is fierce. And lovely to see Rauf check on Devon Conway. He's done well to really keep that out. That was rapid. fearsome bowling, fast bowling, the highest quality. Nobody likes facing it, no matter how long you've been out there. It's cannoned into the top hand, which is the right hand of the left-handed Devon Conway. And he's probably just feeling a few after effects of that now. He might look for a little bit of treatment.
.92 for 1 it is. Just a little bit of a break in play here, with Conway maybe having to get a little bit of treatment. And as a result, at this stage, they've said, all right, we'll have a little break as well with a strategic timeout too. It had to be taken after this over anyway. But they decide with this break, they'll take that.
Time to find out how you all rock the vote. Our jukebox result is in. Don't be tied.
.92 for 1 they are at the moment after 8.5 overs. They need just 36 from 67. Faf du Plessis got them off to an excellent start after his 100 that he made the